maintain control. They built the illusion. We broke the signal. This is the Truth Rebellion podcast.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show today. I have a guest. She is a part of the Iranian diaspora. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's completely correct.
And she wanted to come on the show today so we could talk about everything that's going on inside of Iran. And without further ado, I guess we'll just start it up. So how are you doing today?
That's a little bit of a difficult question because we all have really mixed feelings. We are hopeful. We are so worried about our families. I still do have family in Iran, my mom, my sister, my cousins, and my aunt and uncles. And I'm every single minute worried about them. I'm not worried that USA or Bibi is going to attack them. No, I'm more worried about the regime itself going to use, like they always do, human shield.
Yeah.
I'm mostly worried about that.
Yeah.
But it's also surreal. I never thought in my lifetime I'm going to see that we're going to get rid of this regime finally. And so strongly, I have to say USA and Israel, they did it really, really best and so specifically.
Yeah.
They're targeting the targets.
Yeah. It's really a surreal feeling, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I never thought that I would ever see I mean, I was hopeful for it, but you never really know when something like that is ever gonna ever come down. It's a really surreal feeling. So what you said was, what it sounded like you were trying to say is that you are not you're not anti-attacks from Bibi Netanyahu and Trump, right?
Of course not. Actually, so let me tell you how everything has started. First of all, we Iranians, we are not Muslims. We never been and we will never be and we never wanted. So this barbaric regime, they were unleashed on us in 1979. And that's another whole story that we're going to talk about some other time. Yeah, since then, 80 million, 90 million Iranians, they were hostages by this regime. And since I remember, I'm 32 years old now, and since I remember at the school and everywhere, they were forcing us to chant "Death to Israel, death to USA." Actually, I never did. None of us actually did. But that was so weird for me. I always ask myself, why is that? Because at home, I was just coming home. I was listening to Guns N' Roses, good music, movies, American movies. We loved American culture, and our family, they were so open-minded. So this kind of diversity was always so weird to me. And as I got old, so all of my teenagehood, I had to spend it in police stations or every single weekend. Why? Because a little bit of my hair was out of my shawl,
Yeah.
and yes, and they were dragging us by our hair into their car because we didn't want it to go. So even in birthday parties for my friends, they just came so barbarically and arrested us. I was like 15, 16 years old, and all this. So since I remember, I always tried to flee the country. I knew I don't want to be there, even though the people are amazing, the culture, everything is just really good, but the regime was the reason that I wanted to flee the country. And I did it 2017. I came to Germany alone. I had to leave my mom, my sister, my family, my home there for a reason. And the reason wasn't a war. The reason was only and only this barbaric regime.
Yeah.
And yes, since then, I haven't been able to come back to Iran. or see my family. You can imagine how difficult that is.
Yeah.
And the reason that people cannot hear from the people inside Iran what they want or whatever is that the internet was shut down by the regime.
Hmm.
So they cannot speak for themselves. So this is our responsibility to talk for our families, for our friends, for our people over there. Because somehow we made it out of the country, we survived. And we always have this guilty feeling that they still stuck there, you know?
Yeah. So you grew up, you were born and raised in Iran, right?
Yes. Till I was 23.
23.
Yeah.
And so that's a long time. You spent your entire childhood there, your entire
Yes.
teenage years there, and the beginning of your adult life there. So it's safe to say that you understand how the country actually is and how it actually operates.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so that's the reason why I said, so you're not against the war, right? Because I try to tell people that when I try to explain to people, the people in the country are not Muslim. It's not a Muslim dominated country.
No, I
Uh,
think no, sorry. I think less than 10% of the people which are pro-regime, which are the families of the
Mhm.
regime, or they have some benefit from the regime, but the other 85 million of the people, they're not.
Yeah. All the people that basically get paid off for being a
Like,
part of the regime.
yeah.
Yeah. And when I try to explain that to people, and I do a lot, but I'll get pushback on it, of course, from all these Western people, and specifically because I'm I'm not from the country, like what I know. So that's why I like to, as soon as I first start talking to people on the show, I'm like, so what do you think personally? Because it's good for them to hear that someone that was inside the country, and it's been unanimous across the board. I have not had one single guest on the show that ever says, well, we want the regime to stay, we're very pro theocracy, we want the war to stop. Nobody ever says it. It's unanimous
No,
across the board that
it is. Yeah.
they that the people inside the country and the diaspora want the regime to go. They're not anti Bibi Netanyahu or anti Trump. They want them to continue to attack the regime so that they can liberate the country, right?
Yes. And I don't know how else can we be more clear than that? Like in February 14, millions of us in diaspora in LA, Munich, and Toronto, we came to the street and we screamed, please, just Trump, just hit this regime. This is
Yeah.
all we want from you. So how else can we be clear about that? I don't know.
Yeah.
And Mm, and before the attack, like weeks before the attack, I got so many messages. I have all of the messages and everything. I got so many messages from my friend, from the people that I somehow knew, from my family. They all were asking me, "Do you think when Trump is going to attack? When Trump is going to attack?" They even we Iranians we have a thing that even from our suffering, we always make a joke to cheer ourselves up. They were singing, Bibi, when you coming? They were looking at the sky and they were waiting for these bombs to come.
Yeah.
And the 28th of February, I think that happened.
Yeah.
So I was asleep, but my friend, she was awake till morning because we had this feeling that tonight is gonna be the night finally.
Really?
Oh, in the early morning, she called me and she said, it happened. I was like, what? Are
Yeah.
you seriously? No, you're joking. And she was like, no, seriously. And guess what? Khamenei is dead. I was like, oh my God, no,
It's
it's not
crazy.
possible. It was so surreal.
It was.
And a few minutes after that, our city, all of Iranian community, we all came outside. We were dancing. We were so happy. We were shocked. We were so shocked.
Yeah.
Like I'm 32, and he was like 80 and something, and I never thought in my lifetime I'm going to see him dead.
Yeah,
That
really.
that bad. Yeah, that bad.
Yeah, I remember when I first got the news too. I was asleep and I woke up to it and I saw it on there. I was like, I don't believe it. I had to go on Google and
Exactly.
I had to research it and make sure that it was correct. And everybody was like, no, it's real. Like he's dead. It's over. I was like, this is absolutely crazy, man. Very surreal feeling. Um, you were born and raised in the country. So could you take people back to what it was like really being raised in that type of regime and how oppressive it really was?
Yes, of course. And I also have so many footage, so many videos. Some of them that are so graphic that I didn't even share in my profile. Um, so first of all, in the age of 9, you're basically can be married as a woman,
Yeah.
and so the child marriage is by law is happening there by
That's
law.
alive and well in Iran
Yes,
at
but
9 years old?
yes, 9 years old.
Wow.
But um, and in a school, you have to go in certain times to pray. If you don't do that, you don't get a good grade at the end of the year. And I hated it. And my sister hated it. I hated it. And yes, that I already told you. Every single day that we just, we were teenager. We just want to go out, have some time outside with some other teenagers. And I was always so stressed. I was 16 years old. I was always so stressed that every single minute this police will come now and they will drag us into the cars. And always that happened.
Yeah.
And the fine for that was whipping. I don't know how you call it in English. That or lashes. Which one is a whipping or lashes?
They're both right. Both are correct.
Yeah, okay. For example, when I was in my friend's birthday for the first time, that I had a birthday because the boys were there and the girls were there, and we didn't have hijab, so they did arrested us, and we had to take 80 of the lashes, but you could buy it, some like that will be able.
Mm,
I mean, a 16 years old girl shouldn't be deal with all of this stuff just because a birthday party.
yeah.
And so they're so restrict on the hijab. You're not allowed to go with your boyfriend or girlfriend outside in the public. You're not allowed to have a dog. I remember my uncle and my cousin, they had a little cute dog. We were out in the nature barbecuing, and then the police came. They took my uncle with the dog away. The dog never came back. They killed the dog because in their religion, by law, is haram and you're not allowed to have it.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, yes, and when they try to take you in their car with you because of your hijab or whatever, if you don't want to do it, they will drag you by your hair. They beat you in your face, and they're like big men. They
Yeah.
doing that to women.
Yeah. And anybody, really, children as well, right?
Children as
Doesn't
well.
matter who it is.
Yeah. So when the January protest happened, like in 2 nights that happened, I actually lost a friend that night, one of my childhood friends, Mehrdad Moshtaqi,
No.
and he was 25 years old. So when that night happened, people, they were empty-handed. It was a really peaceful protest. Millions people came out in the street. But because the internet was shut down at the time, we had no idea what's going on in Iran. They always do that so the world cannot see what they do. And they hired militias. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
Militias from Iraq and from other countries
Yeah, I heard about that.
because there is not enough people who wants to fight against their own people.
Yeah.
And the regime, we are not their own people because they're from they're Arabs. They're not even Iranians, and they don't care about Iranians. They actually hate us, and they try to erase our culture. Everything which is about our culture is a crime. Is a big crime against God, they say.
Yeah.
So yeah, so in that tonight, millions people, they came to the street. Mostly they were all under 25, 26. They were Generation Z, basically.
Yeah.
And the regime welcomed them with actual war weapons, dushka and machine guns. So they really, really killed. I know everybody thinks that it's 40,000, but I can tell you it's much more than 40,000. So they started to shoot everyone in their face, from the back, and everything. And not only that, after that happened, they took the bodies because it was so many bodies. Till 2 days after that, they had to still try to find a place to put all of these bodies.
Yeah.
So the families, they had to go through every single body bag to find their loved ones. And not only that, after they did find their loved ones, the regime asked for money. So if you want to have the body of your son, of your daughter, you have to pay us that much toman. Or if you cannot afford it, you have a second option. You can sign this paper for us, and you can claim that your son was a Basiji, which is from IRGC. They did that so they after can claim that the Mossad or whatever killed regime's policeman.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. So they did that. And the families, they were not even allowed to have a funeral with more than 3 to 4 people. So after that happened, then later, Elon Musk started, he sent a Starlink in Iran. So some people got access to internet. They could send some videos. Then we saw what was actually really happening. The footage that are so disturbing, they're really, really bad. There is body everywhere. And they left some of the bodies inside in the streets so people will see and learn what's going to happen if you come to protest.
Yeah.
And the bodies from the women, they were actually never found. To this day, we don't know what they did with the bodies of our women, of our brothers. Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering about that as well. I'm still confused about where the bodies of the women and the children have gone.
Well, I can tell you, they were selling the organs.
Yeah. That's what you believe it is?
That's what so many of us believe it is. That's the textbook. We know this regime.
Really?
And then before America attacks Iran, weeks before that, we made videos, reels, and we try to warn everybody that if America attacks Iran, the regime is going to use some human shield to blame it on them. And they did it with the school, with the Minab school.
Absolutely. That's
From
100%.
weeks before we knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked about that. I told everybody that. I had people on the show that specifically warned and said that that's exactly what was going to happen. And then just like a few weeks afterwards, that's exactly what happens. And I'm like, look, everybody, like we had it on video. They were told, they warned for weeks in advance that they would do that, and they follow the exact same playbook. Like you can't even make it up. Like it's exactly like that. Yeah.
You know, I think the problem is everything they do is so brutal that
Mhm.
is so out of the imagination from the people in West that they think it's all made up. They don't believe it. So
Yeah.
now imagine we have to deal with not just the regime, not just losing 40 plus thousand of our daughters and sons, and now the people in West which hate West, even though they have everything here, they have freedom of speech, they have everything you can imagine, and they tell us, no, you're Mossad, this is our propaganda.
Mm.
Right. Meanwhile, the regime itself come in a national TV in Iran and says what they did, and they say so proudly, and
Mhm.
they say even if it's necessary, even if you come to protest again, we kill even more than 40,000.
Yeah.
We kill everyone till because they are brainwashed. They
Mhm.
are not like human like us that you
Yeah.
can talk to or make deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were brainwashed from probably childhood, or I don't know. They think win for them is when the whole world is under Sharia law, then they're finished. So that's why Iranians, for 2 years, we try to warn the whole world what is coming for you,
Yeah.
because that was exactly what happened to us back then in 1979.
Yeah.
So the left, they shake hands with, do you know with who?
Yeah. 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 With all of them, Ayatollah, radical Islam, communism,
M-
all of it, really.
Communism, Marxism, and so they could overthrow our Shah, our king. And then when Khomeini came to power, guess what he did first? He hanged the very same leftists who helped this revolution to happen.
Exactly.
And this is what we see right now in New York with
Yep.
Mamdani.
100%.
100%. Like everything he says is the verbatim.
Yep.
Can you
Yep.
say the word?
Yep. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
From everything Khomeini said back then.
Yeah.
Free buses, free houses, free electricity. None
Yeah.
of them happened. And if you lose your freedom now, then you have to end up like us. You have to fight it. You have to give sacrifices with your young's blood till you maybe get your freedom back.
Yeah. That's exactly what I've been told too by everybody else. It sounds exactly. They always bring him up in New York specifically, that he sounds like a one-to-one copy of the Ayatollah.
Yeah, he is. He is Khomeini number 2.
Yeah. That's crazy. And it's crazy because the people like the left wing in America and the West, they don't see it.
Yeah, they don't. I think they don't. They're like, there is like, I always say they're allergic to reading history. History is so relevant. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yes. If you read the history of Iran, some were older than TikTok. Actually, from some real resources. There's so many good videos out there that you can educate yourself. You see the pattern, and you can break it before it's too late.
Yeah.
Because once they come in power, as you can see in Iran, they have been building underground. I don't know the English word. They use all of our sources, our money to fund terrorism all over the world. Hamas here and there, and they lied about their missiles that it only reaches 2,000
Yeah. Yeah.
kilometers. And a few days ago, you saw it was 4,000
Yeah.
kilometers. So it
Yeah.
basically reached Europe.
Yeah. Yeah. They could reach Paris. They could reach London.
Exactly. So they come in national TV, they threat us so obvious, like we're going to kill you, we're going to do that, we're going to do that. But the people in West, they don't want to believe them.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense to me.
It's a very confusing thing. I don't like I don't know what it is. You're not sure. It's almost hard to believe that people could be that ignorant. You almost start to wonder, like, are you just like, are you in favor of dictatorships? Like, you want something to be totalitarian, but you don't want to believe that because it's like there's no way anybody would ever really want something like that if they really understood the full extent of what it is. I almost we it's a that's why people call it a brain virus over here, right? Because they don't know, they don't really. It's almost impossible to see how somebody could not, or they could even side with the Ayatollah and side with communism. I Yeah, I saw this one woman, she's from America, and she went to Palestine, and they had a meeting with Hamas, and she went up there and she wore a hijab, and she, in Arabic, said to the whole world, she chanted death to Israel and death to America. And I'm like,
Yeah,
this woman is
I saw that too.
crazy. Yeah, she's absolutely
Thank you.
insane. Like they 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 marry children and they rape and murder women and children and anyone that goes against radical Islam and doesn't do exactly what they say, or even if you show a piece of your hair, right? And they do that to their own women. Like, yes, they do it to Iranian women, but they do it to Arab women. They do it to Muslim women too. They do it to their own people. And you're a
People.
woman from America. What makes you think that you're going to have some sort of special like treatment from this group
Exactly.
of people? It's absolutely insane, really.
No, like I saw someone from BBC, I think, a reporter from BBC. So in Iran, there is no freedom of speech, right? And the internet is shut down and everything. So now you have to think yourself, if some independent reporter goes to Iran and is allowed to film everything, make a report everything, that's propaganda from the regime.
Absolutely.
That is exactly what the regime wants you to see.
Hmm. And see, that's what's so confusing to me too, because like if somebody like you or me or anybody at all that even disagrees slightly with the regime, if we were to go to that country with a press pass and tried to videotape and talk about what was happening, it wouldn't be allowed. They would murder us in the streets. And
Of
if you
course.
were, even if you're an official reporter, but you don't agree with the regime, you'll be murdered in the streets. So it's really confusing to me. This is what something I feel like that something bigger is being exposed here, more that goes beyond just the Ayatollah and the Islamic regime in Iran. Because what I'm seeing and what the world is seeing with the UN that has came out and endorsed the Islamic regime, and they put them on the civil board right council for people's rights and women's rights and all this kind of crazy stuff. Absolutely insane. In the middle of the revolution, then this reporter, I keep seeing this woman pop up, and people have been sending me stuff about her, asking me to talk about her. She goes to the regime and she's there, and she's not wearing a hijab either. Like her hair is completely down and she's talking as free as day. It's like there's no way that that woman gets to walk in that country like that unless she is 100% guarded and protected by the Ayatollah, the IRGC. They know who she is. They're friends with her. She's got her own security detail around her, making sure that she's protected. They're helping her with every single step of that conversation and that report. And that's really weird to me because that goes beyond being deceived. Like she has to know what she's doing. So it makes you
Of course she
wonder,
does.
yeah,
Of
who
Especially
owns
those.
those media networks. They're not just propagandized or idealistic. They have some kind of leftist ideology. They are bought and owned and paid for by
Of
somebody that
course.
hates the West, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And guess who that is?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's so crazy about it, because you're wondering, how is that possible? Like, or when did that happen? Because they don't just have influence, it seems that they have ownership over it. They're the leaders
Hmm.
of it. Yeah.
Yes, they are. And did you know that I think 2 days ago, they in Iran, the regime put up some banners with Hitler picture on it?
Well, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
How else they can tell the world who they are, and the world still try to not believe them?
Yeah. They directly quote Hitler. They put a
Yeah,
picture
they
of
do.
him and put his quotes right next to his name, and they use that as, like, some sort of moral high ground and example of, well, Hitler said it, so then see, guys, duh. I mean, come on, how could we be wrong? Hitler said it, like, obviously, duh. Like, that's how they act about it. And
Yeah.
there are people in the West that will spend all day that have said for the last 10 years that Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. And then in the
Yeah.
last right, the last 6
Oh my
months,
God.
all of a sudden he becomes a Zionist that's controlled by the Jews and the state of Israel, Netanyahu, and now they hate the Jews, and they're saying, well, maybe Hitler was onto something, and now they're defending the Ayatollah who says that Hitler is like the above all
Right.
end all to speak on situations like this. Like, it's beyond hypocritical. It's almost insane, really. Like, you can't even make it make sense.
Exactly. At this point, if someone is defending the regime, they expose themselves
Mhm.
who they are actually, because now everything is so obvious. The videos are out. The people like me and who's talking about it. So at this point, if you're pro regime, you just expose yourself for
Yeah.
who you really are. And what I wanted to tell you, I forgot. Yeah, Trump, there's a video of Trump that he was so young, is for like maybe 30 years ago. He was always having this goal to come for this regime. It has
Mm.
nothing to do with Israel. The timing was just perfect now because the Iranians itself, they raised up by
Mhm.
millions.
Yeah.
So everything made sense for them to do it now because that was just a historical window time
Yeah.
that they had to jump in it and do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah. I agree with that. That's exactly what I think it is.
yes, and I think I don't care how many people hate Trump, which I don't get it. I like a few things about him. He's a real patriotism,
Yeah. 100%.
patriot.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
patriot. That's why we like him, because we are also like that.
yeah.
Our
Exactly.
king was also like that, and he's truly doing really good things for America. People
Yeah.
are blind; they cannot see it now, but they will see it. They will see it in
Yeah,
future
yeah,
at
yeah.
some.
In history,
And
it'll be remembered that way for sure.
exactly, that will goes down in history. And Trump and America both will go down good in history.
Yeah.
I always say that. And yeah, I think we truly need a few things to protect our culture, your beautiful American culture, our Persian culture. First of all, is patriotism,
Mhm.
because they hate your culture. They hate
Mhm.
it. They hate
Yeah.
Persian culture. They hate American culture,
Yeah.
German culture, anything. They want to destroy it and erase it.
Yeah.
And the second is Christianity,
Yeah. Yeah.
because not having any religion is not the opposite of Islam.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with that.
And the third thing is, now that we can kind of dominate social media, we can use it to break this pattern of fake news, propaganda, or whatever. If we really use it in
Yeah.
a right way,
Yeah.
we can our generation can break this pattern.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't get fooled by the propaganda, because the news is controlled. This is what they want us to see. And in these 9 years, I had no idea. When I came to Germany, when everyone was asking me, where are you from? You're from some kind of Latina country. But whenever I said I'm from Iran, they were so surprised. I always thought myself, why they are so surprised? And now, in past 2 months, I came to realize why. I had no idea that the whole world see us Iranians as the regime, as the terrorist regime. Because in Iran, we don't even watch the national TV. We don't watch it at all.
Yeah.
But invest in news, or whenever they want to talk about Iran, they show the Ayatollahs and some crazy hijabs,
Mhm.
women say dead to America, dead to
Yeah.
Israel. And that's a really sad part of it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. The people, when people think of Iran, when they've thought of the country for the last decades, there almost is fear in a lot of people, because they automatically think of the most extreme Muslim community on the face of the planet, right? They automatically think you hate us, you hate our culture, you want to kill us, you want to Allah Akbar and do Durka and jihad and kill everybody and blow everything up. That's what they assume, because that's the only news that ever comes out of the country. Because the Ayatollah, and what the world is starting to wake up to, is that it wasn't that the country was filled with these people, it's that there was a large majority of the country that was literally put into a vice
Tyranny.
grip of not being able to talk. And then they've
Is
just,
that
not only did they control all the information coming in the country, but they controlled all the information that was going out of the country. So they caused the perception of the country to be different than what it was. That's the
is
biggest thing that people, I think, are starting to wake up and realize, that
is that
it's not that, well, because a lot of people are like, well, it's just the people that don't want to help the revolution say, well, you
mm,
look at Iraq and what's happened with Saddam Hussein, and you look at Afghanistan and where it is right now, you look at these other countries. And the problem is that when you get rid of one Muslim theocracy,
mm.
you just want to replace it with another Muslim theocracy, because the people there are majority Muslim.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what you're trying to explain to them is the people in Iran are totally different than that. And that, well,
Right.
you said no,
We
but
are
this one,
against it.
yeah, they're actually different. Like, it's actually a unique situation, because the culture and the history of the country is not even Arabic. It's not Muslim. It's Zoroastrianism mostly, and the Persian Empire and Farsi, and all that's not even Arabic. It's a totally different ethnicity. It's like it's a whole
E-
nother thing. Yeah. So
Exactly. And Christianity, even. We have
yeah,
so many Christian people in Iran
yeah,
secretly. Like they have to be.
yeah. They have the largest underground Christian church in the entire world, actually.
Exactly.
And it's the people. What's different about this revolution is that they're not screaming, we want to get rid of this Muslim leader and just replace him with another theocracy that's exactly the same, just in a different direction. It's that we want to get rid of the entire idea of a Muslim theocracy and replace it with a modernized us or democratic republic, right?
Yeah, yes. Or maybe even monarchy. Monarchy. Is that
I don't
correct? Like
I'm not sure.
we want our king back.
Oh yeah. A monarchy. Yeah.
A monarchy, exactly.
Yeah.
I think the majority of Iranians, we want that.
Yeah. Yeah. Bring back the return of the Shah.
Yes,
And
exactly. And mhm.
yeah, you go ahead.
And I love it that you see everything so clearly, as good as we Iranian can see it.
Yeah.
We want the whole regime to gone till the last person. And I forgot. You go ahead. I will tell you later.
Okay. It's like with the return of the Shah, and one thing truly that people need to realize, that's another difference as well, is because anytime this has ever happened before, there was never a clear-cut leader of where the country was going to go afterwards. With Iran, is already the Shah comes from the family that was already in power and control of the country as a whole before it ever happened. So he has political experience. He understands the geopolitical affairs of the entire world. So it's not like he's going in there as some sort of rookie that has no idea or no clue about what he's talking about. He understands everything that there is to know about the political dynamics there as a country. And who would hate the Islamic Republic more than the family that was taken
E-
out by the Islamic Republic, right? And
Exactly.
also he has a plan of transition, and
Mhm.
the points that he makes are wonderful points. They're great points, not just for the country of Iran, but they're great points for the West, for America, and for Israel. He says on day one that they'll recognize Israel as a country, and that they won't be
Exactly.
trying to eliminate the Jewish state. That they'll become friends with the United States of America and reestablish connections with the West. That they will
Exactly.
help expose terrorism through the Middle East and the world and be a friend at trying to get rid of it. Like, these are all major, there's nothing that he has said, if you're only looking at it from an American perspective or a Western
Mhm.
perspective, it's a good idea. It's a wonderful idea. So, like, there's no reason to not go that direction. I don't see why anyone would think otherwise. It doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly. Look, he was born in Iran and he was there till he was 17 years old. Then he went to America to study, to which the coup d'etat happened. I don't call it revolution because
It's the coup d'etat.
there were the coup d'etat, exactly. So, and all of these 47 years he was in exile, he didn't stop caring about making a plan to one day come back to Iran. He had every reason to let go of it and just move on with his life.
Mm,
But because he loves Iran, I don't know how to explain it. We Iranians, we love our country so much. We love
yeah,
our history so much. So does he. So he knows Iran so good. He knows what his dad have done for Iran. He did a lot of really good thing for Iran and Iranian people. And actually, that was one of the reasons that they set him up to overthrow him, because he wanted to nationalize the oil for Iranian people,
mm,
for example.
really.
And yeah, and for so many other reasons that for some other time, I would like to tell you much more in detail about
Yeah,
it if
yeah,
you
yeah,
like.
yeah.
And yes, that's why we say we trust him and we want him. And he even says that after the transition, you can vote even against me.
Mm-hmm.
That honest he is. He he's not looking for power or anything like that.
Yeah.
That's why we love him and we trust him. Just imagine. So, on one side, you have his daughter and this royal family, which we love so much, which are Iranians,
Yeah.
and their family did a lot for Iran. And the other side, you have this barbaric-looking regime, which are brainwashed. So that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Everyone can see they must go and they have to come back.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense, really,
But
unless you
and
are radical
Mhm.
Islamist.
Exactly. So everybody call us Islamophobia, which I think this word, it doesn't even exist,
Yeah, I
because
agree.
we've been through this, and our fear is not irrational.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that correct? It's like, so we know what we're afraid of. We
Yeah.
know what we don't want. And whoever says, no, this is the culture of Iran, they want to live like that. No, we don't.
No.
And the only reason that you don't hear it by millions, because of the internet
Mm-hmm.
access. As soon as the internet goes back to Iran, your videos will get millions of views, and everybody will see. The
Yeah.
truth will come sooner or later.
Yeah.
And I'm so sure it's going to be so soon. And we want to look back then. Iran and America, they were good allies. We want that back.
Yeah.
We want to have the peace in the Middle East, and we want to have good relation with Europe, with America, with Israel.
Yeah.
And this is all possible if our king, our man's crown prince is coming back.
Yeah.
And we will put an end to terrorists, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the people who are pro-Palestine. If they really care about Palestinian people, they also have to want this regime to go, because this regime is funding Hamas,
Mm-hmm.
and Hamas is killing Palestinian people.
Exactly.
So they just have to ask themselves the right questions, you know?
Yeah. And that's true. That's how I see it too as well. When people talk about free Palestine, right? It's like, free Palestine from what exactly? Are you
From what?
Yeah,
From Hamas.
from Hamas. Yeah, and from raping and murdering children and women, and putting children into kindergarten classes where they're forced to run around with guns and practice murdering
Exactly.
people with rockets. Like, that's insanity. And like you said, just like in Iran, you guys were forced to chant "Death to Israel" and "Death to America" in school, right?
From 6 years old already, when you're 6 years old.
Yeah, I've heard that from every single person that has been on the show that has talked about growing up in the country. They all say the exact same thing. And like, that's complete and utter brain, that's just, it's hatred. It's absolute
Exactly.
hatred, right? Like, and that's exactly what Hamas does with the children of Palestine too. It's like, you know what I mean? Because, a lot of times we get the reputation of, well, you just hate the people of Palestine, or you hate Arabs, or that you hate the Muslim women and children, the Muslim people. It's like, nothing could be further from the truth. It's that what we hate is that radicalized ideology that makes it sound normal to marry children and molest children and rape women and murder people for being raped, and just do the most grotesque, inhumane, savagery, backward things that are done on the planet right now, anywhere in the world. There's nothing more
Exactly.
backward than it. Right? And
No.
until that ideology falls, Arabs will never be free. People that identify as Muslims will never be free. There's billions that will not be free until that has to be removed. It has to be rejected. And it's common sense, really. It's, and I personally think that people that are not radical Muslims, that they just don't say it like it is, I think a lot of that has to do with fear. I think that they're afraid of those
Yeah.
people. They're just
They really
they're
are.
trying to be like, they're trying to pacify them and be nice to them. Like, well, I don't want to get rid of you, so maybe you go kill somebody else and just don't kill me, right? Like, I'll just be a good little person as long as you don't blow me up. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what it feels like, really. Yeah.
And it's so painful that I see. So I came from Iran to not have to deal with all of this stuff, and I came here to Germany. It's also really, really bad right now
Yeah.
from this Islamist. And the left and liberals, they are they think, okay, we are hippie, this is something so cool, because
Mm,
it's something so new for them, but they don't know how deep that goes.
uh-huh.
They don't know how it's going to turn out. They think they do something cool, something rebel. This is new. We have dictator right now, which this is insane for me. From
Mm,
someone who comes from a real dictator,
yeah.
who lived under the real, not only dictator, Nazi, Islamist, radical
Mm,
dictator, everything you can imagine. And then I just saw a video. A girl were asked between Khomeini and Trump, which one you think is more dictator? And this Western girl, she said, "Yeah, I don't like Trump. He's so dictator. I would choose Khomeini." That girl, if she would be in Iran with what she was wearing, Khomeini
mhm.
would hang her.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Like they can't even point Iran on the map. They have no idea how it. But I truly hope that you guys can save your country before it's too late. But
Yeah.
I think Trump is already on the right track
Yeah.
to there.
Yeah, I believe the same thing. And that's how I feel about it too. You'll see somebody that's almost half naked that is saying, I would rather have the Ayatollah and radical Islam. You don't even know what you're talking about. You would be murdered right there. Even even saying that you're pro Ayatollah, you would be
Mm.
murdered because of what you're wearing. Like it's asinine. And I think too, I think that I'm very hopeful about the future of America and the West. A lot of people aren't. I am. I believe that America will be saved and that the West will be saved ultimately. But I do believe, I do wonder how far they have to be pushed before they realize how real that threat is. That's the thing that I wonder about. I think they'll eventually it'll be saved, but it's like, okay, well, Iran has been eventually saved too, right? Like they're becoming free now, but look
Yeah.
how much they had to go through before
47
that
years
point came.
after. 47 years after, and the cost we had to pay,
Yeah.
plus 40,000 of our youth. They were the
Hmm.
future of our
Yeah.
country.
Exactly. And
And I also get sorry, can you hear me still,
yeah.
Joshua?
You cut out for a few
And
seconds.
I also he still see and get videos from inside Iran. They watching the IRGC bases getting destroyed. How happy they are, like how
Hmm.
satisfying they are. This is the justice. This
Yeah.
is for us. This is justice. We can rebuild our country again. That's
Mhm.
okay. But these 40,000 people who died, we can never get them back, and we cannot afford to lose more and more of our youth. We're not
Yeah.
gonna do that.
Yeah.
And as Trump said, when the moment is right, when they're finished, the people of Iran have to come to the street and finish the job. And they are so ready. They are
Yeah.
so ready. Like, imagine, even though Trump told them, stay at home, it's not safe outside till we tell you. But as soon as Khomeini was dead, there were thousands of people came to the street just to dance because
Yeah.
they were so happy of that, you know?
Yeah. 100%. And see, that's the thing too, like, because I've heard, people that don't know what they're talking about. Why were they protesting more before the airstrike started than they are now? Because they were told by Trump and the prince and Netanyahu, don't come out until the bombing stops. That way you don't get killed. You don't get bombed yourself. It's common sense, really. And after everything is destroyed, then come out into the streets. I'm more than confident enough to know that as soon as the bombing starts and the people are supposed to do their part, it's blatantly obvious that they're going to run. They look before those 2 days happened where they killed, I think, over 100,000 people.
Exactly. That's the
They
right number, Joshua.
yeah, exactly. I think they took over almost the entire country at that point in time. They had overrun Tehran and
It's
everywhere. They were
They
burning
did.
giant statues into the ground. So if you could do all that in the middle of that type of persecution, when the place is wiped out, I don't really see it being that hard for them to take over the country.
And some other thing that people said, we have to go and fix it with negotiating, or people inside Iran, they have to do it for 20 days now. America and Israel are bombing the hell out of them. They still exist.
Mhm.
So how do you expect the people with empty hand destroy them? It's not possible.
Yeah, that's a good question.
We needed this
Mm.
foreigner help. Like France got free because of Americans' help, right?
Yeah.
In World War II.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes this is more than necessary. It's not just a war; it's a rescue mission.
Yeah.
And we are in Iran. We have to. Our families are in Iran. I'm talking about the people who are in Iran because this
Yeah.
is what they said exactly. I have
Yeah.
videos that they say it, voice messages. They are in Iran, and this war is not affecting anyone in this whole world more than Iranians itself inside Iran than us outside Iran, because it's painful to watch our childhood places get bombed and destroyed. But if we know this is the pain we have to go through in order to have a cancer-free country, in order to have our country back,
Yeah.
this is what we have to go and sacrifice, and we are willing to do it. So what you want for our country? This is our country. We have to decide how we remove this cancer from it. It's
Yeah.
painful, but it's the only way possible. We did try it over the years, 2009, before that, we protest a lot, and every time end up with killing all of our youth.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
this is the only way, and we are willing to do it.
Yeah.
And no one else under, if they didn't live under this regime, if they don't have families there, if they are not there, they don't get to say hands off Iran or no
Yeah.
war. This war must continue till this regime is completely removed.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we Iranians will be the boots on the ground
Yeah.
when it comes.
Yeah. Exactly. And like that's the thing too. See, one of the things that I love to see from the Iranian people, like the Iranian people, you know, you don't have to explain to them how anything works or the way that things are supposed to be, right? Because it feels like when you're living in the West and you're talking to a lot of these liberals, you have to explain to them. You almost have to rework the way that they were educated on some subjects. It's like, no, that's not how it works, and tell them the truth about communism or radical Islam. But with the Iranian people, you don't have to do that because they already know what it's like. And you don't have to convince them to fight either. Like, you know, people on the right wing, for instance, in the United States of America, even if they're not brainwashed, a lot of them are they're just kind of like, they're kind of pushovers. They're kind of weak people. Like they'll only go so far and then they'll just kind of back down. And there's very few people that are like strong enough to just tell them to their face, like, this is not the way it's supposed to be. But, you know,
Yeah.
with the Iranian people, I don't tend to see that. The people of the country tend to be, they're very strong and passionate and fiery and resilient people, yeah? And very
Thank you.
patriotic, powerful people as well. So that's one of the things that I also try to get people to understand too about the country, that after the country is free and those type of people, the real people of the country, are in charge of that land, in charge of that nation, that's more beneficial to the West as a whole as well, because that group of people, yeah, that group of people will be very easy to talk to, very easy to be diplomatic with, very easy, and you won't have to convince them why Islam, radical Islam, is their enemy. and why communism is their
Yes,
enemy.
actually, Joshua, actually, it's the other way around. For years, we Iranians try to warn so blankly,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
so, yes, so blankly to the world, and we don't scared of saying it because at this point we went through a lot because of this Islam that we didn't want in the first place.
yeah,
It was imposed on us. And I want to tell you, so many people say this is not Americans' war. They were not a threat to us. They were because of so many reasons. Since day one, they came to the power. They got so many American hostages. If you
absolutely.
know about
Yeah.
it, for 444 days,
Hmm.
and since that day, they were your enemies. Since that
Exactly.
day, every single day, they were only goal was to destroy the big Satan Israel, the big Satan America.
Yeah,
And if Trump wouldn't stop them right now, they would do it
exactly.
eventually.
Yeah,
And mm, yeah, so after this whole hostage situation, the whole world just moved on, but we Iranians, we left alone with this barbaric regime, and we had to deal with
yeah,
with them ourselves.
yeah. And that's
So
what it is. Yeah.
yeah,
They,
and you saw how they attacked Qatar, every single, everywhere they could, they attacked. So imagine if Trump and Bibi wouldn't stop them when they were finished with their nuclear weapon, they would target any country,
Mhm.
especially if they would come for you Americans.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly right. It's like when they took the hostages right after, and it wasn't but months after the revolution or the coup in 79 that they took American hostages. And Jimmy Carter